Let's step back in time to Fort Walters, Texas, the launch pad where over 40,000 helicopter pilots learned to fly during the Vietnam War. One of the pilots who trained there and then was an instructor there is a familiar face. That's Jim Messenger, one of the founders and current treasurer who we introduced you to earlier in this special program.
Okay, the large building on the left.
Jim Messenger, the founder of the National Vietnam War Museum, reminisces on where he lived while stationed on Fort Walters in the 1960s. Not much left of what was then living quarters. There are other signs of what was before Fort Walters was deactivated in 1975. Stairs leading to what were buildings. Foundations of buildings long gone. Building after building, many in advanced stages of decay. It's all tucked into pockets of what is now the Walters Industrial Park, which has reminders of the significance at the gates.
I was on a committee that built up the front gate, rebuilt the front gate, and we maintained that front gate as it was during Vietnam. You'll get to see it, but it's got a Huey and it had the two helicopters that we trained in.
Messenger says Fort Walters was once a part of Camp Walters.
Camp Walters was the largest infantry replacement depot in World War II. It was gigantic, and after the war, that disappeared very quickly. The Air Force dropped in that part of that later on for a little while. One of the good things they did was build a new airport for Mineral Wells, and then they left.
Then the U.S. Army came in and established Fort Walters on a portion of Camp Walters as the primary helicopter training post for the Vietnam War, which it did until 1973, before the post's deactivation in 1975. Messenger says he and many of his fellow helicopter pilots have wonderful memories of their time here.
The camaraderie, all of us went to basic training and came straight here. There were some prior service guys that got in on it, but most of us went to basic training, came here to learn how to fly helicopters, and we're going to be warrant officers.
Then there's a different kind of nostalgia, remembering what was and is no more.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Camp Walters is pretty well 99% gone. Fort Walters still has some of our barracks buildings that we lived in. There were some made out of concrete, and they're still out there and look good. Facilities for flying anything have been destroyed pretty much. It's just a bunch of junk. It's just a deserted fort now.
For a complete look at the history of Fort Walters, you can go to the National Museum of the Vietnam War website. You can find the link to this story on fox44news.com.